So on to our next award in the UK Polluter Awards, the Slimiest Greenwash Award. Tonight, we are highlighting the companies whose PR teams have worked tirelessly to soak themselves in green. They pretend they are environmental heroes to cover up for their polluting actions. It's pretty slimy, and we love it.
Thanks, Kate. First up is Drax. Drax showed their commitment to the NHS when their cooling tower was lit up blue at the beginning of the pandemic. If only they brought the same passion to the health crisis they are feeling as they do at being the UK's single largest carbon emitter. But for Drax, one slimy performance wasn't enough for them. After switching its focus from coal to sustainable biomass burning, i.e. burning trees, Drax announced that it would be the first carbon negative power station by 2030 by capturing and storing the CO2 it emits from burning wood. That explanation conveniently covers up that Drax's negative emissions claims are based on unproven bioenergy carbon capture and storage, or BECCS technology, which is unlikely to work. Meanwhile, Drax emitted over 13 million tonnes of CO2 from burning 7 million tonnes of wood in 2020, and this burning is degrading some of the world's most biodiverse forests in Canada, the southern USA, Estonia, and Latvia, whilst also polluting nearby communities and destroying wildlife. Next is INEOS. INEOS have perfected the art of sport washing, sponsoring a campaign for kids' health, a Tour de France team, a UK sailing team, and a Nice football club. However, it is hard to run the Daily Mile, as the INEOS campaign encourages you to do if you're dead, like the 8.4 million people who died around the world from fossil fuel air pollution in 2018. Next is Shell. For International Women's Day 2020, Shell rebranded their social media to Sheil, she''ll. As women make up 70% of the world's poorest and do on average 2.5 times more unpaid labour than men, the impact of climate change falls disproportionately and violently on women. Now, I can't speak for all women, but nothing makes me feel more empowered than worrying about climate breakdown, ruining mine and my friends' futures. And Shell didn't stop there. This double nominee took to Twitter to ask each and every one of us what we were willing to reduce to achieve a smaller carbon footprint. We at GCOP are willing to reduce Shell to ashes for this cause. Next is HSBC, fossil fuel funder, facilitator of money laundering, and petitioner for a law to crack down on pro-democracy protests in Hong Kong. They were eager to establish themselves as a social justice icon, with its "We are not an island" adverts on World Cultural Diversity Day. It is true that HSBC funds extraction in areas with a huge range of cultures, and if it was an island, it would be pretty screwed due to sea level rises and oil spills that it's funding. Next up, BP. This oil giant is clearly just as committed to past colonialism as it is to present, as it is the main corporate funder of the British Museum. BP gets to stick their bright green logo on every poster and gets credit for the public education the museum provides. Who better to teach our kids than the ones taking away their futures? The fact the British Museum and BP are BFFs show how fossil fuel extraction in the global south is a direct continuation from violent Western imperialism. And finally, BlackRock. Joe Biden's bestie BlackRock is a member of the Climate Action 100 Plus group and loves to brag about its green investment funds. Indeed, they have an impressive collection of records, the world's largest investor in fossil fuels and one of the largest investors in deforestation. And as well as scale, they have scope, funding land grabs and human rights abuses in the Amazon rainforest, Indonesia, Liberia, and Papua New Guinea. If you're a prestigious institution wanting to get away from funding violence, get away with funding violence on a global scale, BlackRock are your guys.
So now that we're all covered in slime, let's hear the winner. The winner of the UK Polluter Awards Slimiest Greenwash is Drax. Now, let's go to Friends of the Earth Liverpool, who will accept the award on behalf of Drax.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am delighted and honoured to be here this evening at this prestigious awards ceremony. So wonderful to be here, highlighting all the good deeds of these companies who are really taking the climate crisis seriously. So we have here Drax, who they've won a few awards. They're a wonderful company, as you can see here in Liverpool. Their trains travel up and down the line and they tell us about all the wonderful things that they're doing for the environment. They are pioneering renewable energy, sustainable biomass for the future. It's wonderful. We can just carry on doing as we are. The big power station powering the national grid. And it's all fine because they just keep planting more trees and actually making the world a much greener place. It's just absolutely wonderful. So I know I've said who this award is for, but I'm not quite sure what the award is. Is it, what's the name of the, oh, it's my phone. Hang on a moment. Sorry, I'm just an award ceremony. Oh, what's that? What? Really? You mean they're burning trees? The oldest form of creating energy known to man? What's pioneering about that? This is a disgrace! I've just heard that Drax are responsible for driving deforestation in countries around the world. Oh, hang on, there's a message. Oh, that's it. Well done, Drax. Or more commiserations. I'm accepting on your behalf the award